Oh, Wendy's just connecting. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning, Priyanka.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm learning all kinds of new things, like how to do this stuff on my cell phone because I'm at Lynn's and forgot my computer.
Nice. That's so cool. You didn't want to share one screen?
No,
Okay,
it's easier if we do it this way.
awesome.
Yeah. I'm like a big puppy. I take up a lot of space.
All good.
I take up a bit of space myself, so this house is big, so it's big enough for both of us. Oh, and let's not forget Astro.
Yes. Our sweet boy.
Remember this sweet kitty.
Kitty. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I can start streaming whenever you guys are ready to Facebook.
Um,
You know what? I'm going to keep my. No, I'm not going to keep my glasses on.
Good.
I am when you are, Lynn.
Yeah, I'm ready. I know
Okay.
we've got, I think there were about a dozen people that had signed up. Hi, Kathy. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
Wonderful
you,
to
Wendy?
see you, my friend.
It's good to see
You have
you.
snow behind you.
Oh, flowers.
Oh, yeah, I don't have my glasses on.
But snow soon.
Oh, beautiful. Welcome. And I'm excited for you to meet Lynn. Lynn, this is
Yes,
Kathy.
hi. Hi, Lynn.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, it's great to meet you.
Thank you. Hi, Christine. Welcome.
Welcome,
Lynn.
Christine.
Thank you. Hi.
Morning.
Hi. So we'll probably have people that are going to be coming in, and Priyanka is here. Priyanka is a woman that I met just over 3 years ago. She answered an ad that I placed in a very large Facebook group. And I said I was looking for a psychic virtual assistant because I wanted someone who knew me from the inside. And I think like 9 or 11 people had applied, and I was just really drawn to Priyanka. So we were talking, and I said, "Are you psychic?" And she said, "Oh, no, not at all." And Spirit said to me, "Yes, she is." And I was like, "Okay, good." She said, I said, "Then why did you answer?" And she said, "Because I know people from the inside." And I thought, that's the only way that happens is because you're psychic. So she's just still hiding herself, but not from us. So she has been the woman that has been by my side for 3 years, instrumental in helping me build and create the business that I have. And Wendy is working with her as well. And she is just an absolute gift to all of us. So I love you, Priyanka.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
She's magical. Thank you for all that you do, Priyanka.
Thank you.
She does.
You've helped me so much.
Oh my God. She does our newsletters. She's my COO. She helps to run everybody else. And she is in human design, what is called a projector. So she's really good at having the 360-degree kind of view of everything, the 30,000 feet up overview. And I have a sister who's a projector, who's a bossy little bitch. And I love her, but that's just my, but Priyanka's not like that. What if you did this? And what if you did that? Did this? And she's right every time. So she's that way.
So
And
far, she hasn't revealed that aspect to me.
Oh, no. No, and I don't think we'll see that. My sister, yes, but Priyanka, no. But she's great at, she's just that helpful. Like, well, what if you did this? And I'm like, God, that's such a great idea. Hi, Linda. Welcome.
Hi, Linda. Happy Friday.
Hi, same to you.
I love you. So good to have
Good
you
to
with.
see you 2 days in a row.
I know.
You can't keep me away.
Always a delight. So I'll just kind of start at the beginning. My name is Lynn, and I live in New York. Wendy and I have been friends for close to 40 years now. We knew each other back in the day. 1987 was when we met in Los Angeles. Wendy's fiance at the time had a comedy troupe that several of my friends were involved in, and I got involved in it. And then one night, everybody talked about playing poker, and I was like, I know how to play poker. And they're like, you don't know how to play poker. I looked like it was going to be easy for them to take money from me. But here's what they didn't know about me. my stepfather had 9 brothers and they would come to the house and play poker. So I learned how to play poker and I won every time but this is how I play poker. I had a good hand. I had a bad hand. I was like, so they thought it was easy, but what they didn't know was being psychic. I knew whether they were lying or not. So I won. And then they asked me not to come anymore. But in the process of playing poker with them, I got
So
to
she
know.
came and hung out with me instead because I didn't play.
Exactly. And one day I looked at Wendy and I was like, oh my God, you look amazing. What are you doing? And she had this little box next to her and she's like, I discovered this product called Sunrider. And then we got involved in Sunrider and Jeannie Wilson and the girls and everything. Anyway, just a friendship that has lasted for a very, very long time. And Wendy and I had lost touch at one point. And I had an address book and it was stolen out of my car with my purse and some other things that I had left overnight. And I just lost touch with all these friends. So scroll forward to many, many years later. Good Lord, like 12 years later. And I had a boyfriend who had a business partner named Darren. And Darren and I are hanging out one night. And Darren said, I said, how did you learn to channel? Because he was channeling a being by the name of Methuselah at the time. And he said, oh, I learned from this woman named Igea, and I had a best friend named Wendy. And all of a sudden I saw Wendy and I go, is Wendy tall with big red hair? And he goes, yeah. And I walk over to my bookshelf and I have these pictures of me and Wendy from a trip we took to Sedona in the early 90s. And he's like, oh my God, how do you know? I love all these women. How do you know these women? I said, Wendy and I have been friends for a really long time. And so I said, please give me her number. So Wendy and I reconnected and I called her up. I'm like, babe, what are you up to? And she's like, oh, I'm living in Northern California. I'm a triple certified psychic. And I'm like, no, you're not. You work at a fucking dentist's office. What are you talking about? And she's like, no, I'm trained, tried and tested as a psychic in 3 different practices. And I was like, okay, you weirdo. I'm thinking she's a weirdo, right? Little did I know that someday I'd be like, oh, by the way, I channel Jesus. So we reconnected and I'm so sorry. Let me turn this off.
And I want to add, by the way, that working in a dental office and being psychic are not mutually exclusive.
So we reconnected and then I ended up moving home to New York in 2016 and Wendy followed suit, moving home or moving to Connecticut where her family was just 6 months after I had. So I moved in June and she moved in November. And so now we were just a few hours from each other. We're going to be able to get to see each other. And I found a meditation group in the beginning of 2017. And here I am sitting in a meditation group and who shows up but Pallas Athena. And I'm like, okay. And Pallas Athena says to me in the meditation, I am Pallas Athena. Will you come with me? And I'm like, daughter of Zeus, how bad could this be, right? So she takes me underneath the ocean, shows me this civilization that lives inside of Earth. And I'm like, I've never taken drugs. This is not an acid flashback. I don't know what's going on. The only one I know to call is my psychic friend, Wendy. And I'm like, you're not going to believe what happened. And she said, well, maybe this is who you're supposed to get trained with to channel. And I'm like, listen to me. I've seen ghosts. I know how this goes. Someone hops inside of your body. Suddenly you're like, what do you do to your hair? Like that whole scene. I'm freaked out. I'm like, I'm going to be overtaken. They're going to steal my body. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And she's like, it's not like that. Mm-hmm. So I summoned my courage and then I started going up to Connecticut on the weekends and started doing channeling training with her. And it has changed my life. There is no being that I can think of that has single-handedly, that's incorporated as a human, that has single-handedly changed my life like Wendy has. So over the years, we have worked together. We separated for a while. I went and did my thing. COVID came and she wasn't traveling down here. And, for various reasons, we'd gone off to do our separate things. And we recently decided to collaborate together again. And what's coming out of that is this Pathway of the Initiate program next year. So I'm going to let Wendy describe it to you, but that's where this whole thing, came from. And I've brought, she's trained over 1,700 people to channel. I've trained hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to read the Akashic records. And then we collided those two worlds. And that's what this is being born from.
Yeah. The Pathway of the Initiate was created, designed by 6, we call them the Super 6, and it's Jesus, Magdalene, Hathor, Metatron, Elijah, and Melchizedek. And they have created a program that goes for a year, but it's done in 3 segments, 3 4-month segments, where they will be doing the teachers, that they will be the teachers doing the teaching. And the thrust, the crux of this class is that they will be channeling everything. It's not going to be Lynn's and my good idea about what's happening, but they have these protocols and activations and all of this amazing stuff that they're bringing to us, that they will also bring to you, that's really based on forgotten wisdom. The ancient mystery schools that are no longer, you know, in anybody's thoughts or, you know, hearing about them anymore. And so they're bringing up this deep ancient wisdom and teachings, and that's what they're going to be sharing with us next year. They're also doing that process of reawakening within us the understanding of who and what we are, and how we also hold the keys to that wisdom within us. And so it's going to be an extraordinary journey. I'm really excited about it.
One of the things that I've been doing recently is what we're calling the Essene Akashic sessions. And we've been taking a group of people that have volunteered to have me go into their past lives and help them uncover through the Akashic records what their connection was to the Essene community, what their connection was to Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary. And some are finding out that they were doing trainings in the mystery schools in Alexandria. Some found out that they were in Israel. They were part of the communities in Carmel and Qumran and things like that. And what's been fascinating is, as all that wisdom has been coming forth, people are finding, like we found Mary Magdalene's mother. You know, we found Peter, one of the apostles. We found like the most extraordinary beings. And Dolores Cannon had done a lot of this research in her books, Jesus and the Essenes. And then that had been continued by 2 people, Joanna Prentice and Stuart Wilson, who had written the Essene Gospels of Peace and the books about Mary Magdalene, and how she continued to keep alive Jesus's teachings. And so now we've been charged with, I'm getting goosebumps. Oof, they've just entered the room. Oof. We've been charged with bringing back, as Metatron calls it, the ancient, what did he call it? Like the ancient masters present the Akashic Oracle Mystery School of Mastery. And that's a whole 3-year program. Now, we were like, let's enroll people in that. And they were like, close to being ready for that. We're going to start with the first step, which is the initiate. So this became the pathway of the initiate, to prepare you for that, because that's going to be being an initiate, then being an apprentice, then being an adept, and then becoming a master. And one of the things that Elijah was very clear about, he said, people really need to understand that this is a pathway of mastery, and it's going to be years in the making. So this, you know, people may come in and decide to try it for one semester and say, thanks, it's too rich for my blood, not now. Or they may, you know, we may end up doing the pathway of the initiate for a few years to really get the quorum together to start, you know, the bigger program, the Akashic School of Mastery. So Wendy and I, as I mentioned, have been friends for years, and I've been doing my teachings and she's been doing hers, each for about 35 years, doing our separate things. And she came to me one day and she said, Metatron has asked me to have you teach me how to read the Akashic records. And I was like, oh my God, this would be one of my greatest delights. I'd learned so much from her to now be able to share what I knew with her. And Wendy, do you want to talk about what that has changed for you? What that has opened up for you?
Right. It was the first time in a really long time that I had studied anything. I had, you know, kind of fallen into the pathway of being the teacher. And so when Metatron suggested I learn the records, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't have any expectations of what it was going to be. The first class, I was like, oh my God. I was like, the first class, it began to change me and open me in ways that I had never anticipated. It was really it was really magical. And so I've gone through the whole program. I have gotten my advanced certification, and it created an opening for me and Metatron stepped in and said, thank you for doing that. Now we're going to be heading in a different direction. And he's bringing me all kinds of new teachings, a new healing teaching. He's bringing me to work with different groups of individuals that are kind of outside the norm for us. And it's just really exciting. And it was all because I studied the records, created a new platform, Metatron's Mystical Muse, and here we are, right? Here we are.
So there are two seeming prerequisites that we have for entering this program. One is that you understand how to access the Akashic Records. And I have a whole bunch of tools that go with that about how to open up your clairs, clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and claircognizance, because your ability to see, hear, feel, and know in the records will be daunted if you have some of those closed down. So we have tools and techniques to open those. And then there's a technique that's the kind of the culmination after you've learned how to do entity handling and incident handling and psychic surgery and things like that. You come into what's called Akashic healing. And Akashic healing is where you not just look into the records, but you actually take the journey into the lifetimes to look at what has come through from the past that's impinging on this current incarnation. I call it going to the first domino, because when you heal that one, the entire line of dominoes kind of goes flat, and then that's no longer an issue in this, this incarnation and what other simultaneous existences you have, whether in the past, the present, or there's at least 6 of us of our soul that are living at one time in each incarnation. So it's kind of like you got the tree, you got the limbs, you got the branches, then you got the leaves, and each lifetime is like a leaf on the tree. So there's that prep that's doing, and we have a class that's going to be starting on November 15th for that. If you guys want to participate with this. And then Wendy also has the option of working with her one-on-one so that you can open yourself up to channeling. And for those people that are already trained as a channel, getting the Akashic piece is easy. And for those that are trained in the Akashic piece, getting the channeling is easy. So we've come together to combine the two worlds to bring forth what's going to be a lot. In addition to the trimester, so we have 3 trimesters, 4-month programs. The first trimester, we're going to be focusing on our origins in Atlantis. So we're going to take a retreat to the Florida Keys. In the second trimester, we're going to be taking people to France. We're going to be focusing on the journey of the Essenes. And then in the third trimester, we're going to take a trip to Sedona, because we're going to be dealing with physical DNA and ancestry and spiritual DNA and ancestry.
Galactic too. Yeah.
And galactic ancestry, because you'll find that, you were your grandmother in this incarnation and reincarnated back into your DNA family, physical DNA family, to kind of heal some things that weren't healed in another lifetime, or your grandfather. I remember one of my mentors back in 1989, he said to me, it's really difficult when you come in with the same name that you were several lifetimes ago.
Right.
Just things like that. So if any of that is right up your alley. And by the way, if you were called here, I promise you were called here by either Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Hathor, Metatron, Melchizedek, Elijah. And Elijah was Jesus's teacher, and or your spirit guides.
Right.
Wendy and I would like to think it's our dazzling personalities and charm, wit, wisdom, and all that, but it's not us. I promise you it's them.
Right.
Does anyone have any questions? Anything you want to know about the program?
Before you do, may I just add a caveat from my end, that for those of you who maybe don't know how to channel or are uncertain in your channeling, if you're signing up for the program, I will just work with you and we'll do a few sessions together to at least get you comfortable with channeling, and that will be my gift to you for signing up for the program. So don't worry about that aspect of it. Please don't let that hold you back. All right. Let's talk about how this is going to change your life. that's really the thing that Metatron's really close today. And he's saying, talk about how at the end of a year, you're going to be different than when you started in January. The potential for growth and expansion through this program is exponential.
Love, did you
And-
bring you the outline that you had given us of what's going to be taught? Remember you
I, you know, that's at home, and I'm sorry. But if people are interested in signing up, then what we can do is email that to them. If they will be kind enough to give us their email addresses, happy to mail that breakdown of what you can experience. Just know that it's deep work. It's going to be work to expand your psychic awareness. It's going to be work to deepen your connection with spirit. It's going to be work to, excavate those aspects of the self that are much more than what sits in the chair that you're sitting in. So
Yeah. going to ask you to
I've got the course outline if you want it.
have a journey of the soul. Do you want to have Linda read it, my love?
maybe just one or two, Linda.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe just one or two so that they can get a feeling for it. Thank you.
Month 1, Instructor Jesus, Introduction to the Teachings of the Ascended Masters, setting the intention for the journey, heart-centered living, essence of forgiveness and unconditional love. Let's see. Month 3 will be soul codes and their significance taught by Metatron. Understanding the geometric patterns of the soul, activation of personal soul codes, understanding the cosmic blueprint, and the Metatronic cube and the significance in its significance in spiritual evolution.
Would you read month 9? That's coming into my head.
Embracing your oracleship, Instructor Hathor and Magdalene, joint session. Ancient practices of divination and prophecy, activating the throat chakra for clear transmission, sacred rituals for receiving divine messages, embracing the role of oracle in the community.
Beautiful. Thank you, love. And there's a lot more. And like we said, we'll be happy to send that off to you. What I want you to know about the tuition is there's an early bird that's running until December 1st. There's a special on that. There's also payment plans that are available so that this can be affordable to you. And if this is something that calls to you, if this is something that is in your heart for you to do, and you can't see, a way to foreseeably be able to do that, please reach out to Wendy and I. If you're meant to be in this program and we've checked with guidance, we'll find a way to make that happen. So again, I'm going to ask, does anyone have any questions? What would you like to know about this? What made you want to come, and is this fulfilling whatever it is that drew you in?
I'll ask some questions.
Okay.
This sounds amazing. I feel like I was guided here to, it's funny how I ended up here, because Lynn, I've wanted to come onto your Friday things for so long and I always seem to miss it.
Oh,
And I was sitting in bed this morning because it's a holiday here in Nevada. It's Nevada Day.
happy Nevada Day.
And yeah, anyway, something got me on Facebook, and I was on there for a while. It's just funny, right? It's like, and then boom, there you are. So I thought, oh, it's perfect. I had like 15 minutes. I signed up, and anyway, I am drawn to the Essenes. I rereading the Joanna Prentice, and I just reread it like last week.
Christine, let me tell you something that freaked me out. I'm reading that book, and there's a woman in our community. Her name is Claire, and Claire had said that she was one of the sisters of Jesus, and I knew that I had been as well. And so I thought that Claire was her. And he came to me one day and he said, "You were Laura Claire." And I started crying. So when I read that section and when I read about her, it just made so much sense for the kind of connection that I've had to him. So those books are so personal to me. And Magdalene and I we wrote a book together in 2021. It just happens to be sitting here on the table. My mom has been going through this every day. My mother's like, "Wait, you wrote a book? What do you mean you wrote a book?" I'm like, "Remember that year I lived in Virginia and I channeled Mary Magdalene every day?" So she saved my life. In 2019, I was having an incredibly dark and very, very painful year. And she came to me and she had me read Disappearance in the Universe. And it led me back to the Course in Miracles. And then Yeshua and Magdalene both showed up and they said, "Would you go through a year of channeling her and going through the 365 lessons?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And I had been in Tina Spalding's community of channeling Jesus. So I had just seen her do it with, with bringing him through every day and going through his interpretation of here's what I meant when I wrote what I wrote. So I get it. My connection to the Essenes is, and my love, I promise you that if you feel that connection, you were there with us. And I would love to help you discover that. We're going to start those. I was supposed to be in Israel right now and the trip got canceled.
Oh.
And I'm going to start up those Essene sessions again. In fact, Linda McKay is the one who is the scribe for us. Linda was one of Yeshua's teachers during that, one of the elder Essenes. So she has a lot of wisdom locked inside of her that we're helping her open up to. So if you'd like to have one of those sessions, I'll make sure
Oh,
to
I would love to. When you said that, I'm just,
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
I would love to. In fact, I'm redoing the lessons and I've been reading your book. So
God.
feel very connected to Mary Magdalene as well.
Listen, I saw this painting on Facebook one day in another community with my mentor, Melanie Ann Lair. And I reached out to the woman who's the artist. Her name is Matanya. And I said to her, "Oh my God, I'm in love with that painting of, no, actually it was a painting of Hathor. I apologize. Hathor was first. And I said, "Is the painting available for sale?" And she said, "I have to ask the paintings." And I was like, "Oh my God, thank God. One of my weirdos who talks to paintings." And she comes back and she says, "Yes, it's Hathor." And then I saw her later on painting Magdalene, and that became the cover of the book. And, the story goes on from there. Anyway, so was there a particular question? I'm thrilled that you're here. Thank you so much for feeling guided. Was there a particular question that you had?
Oh shoot, I did have a question. What was, is it mostly going to be then through Zoom and?
It's going to be fully through Zoom. So we will,
Okay.
logistics are we'll do 3 weeks out of every month, and then you'll have a week of integration. And every month you get a session with either Wendy or myself. So over the course of a year, you'll have 12 sessions, 6 with me and 6 with Wendy, because you'll need help with the personal integration and the healing work that we do with people. And they're, they're just, when you sit in front of us, because I'm always channeling Yeshua, Magdalene, and Hathor, and a few others. Wendy's always got Metatron, Melchizedek, and Elijah there most recently. If you guys get a chance, hear a channeling that Wendy has done of the Elijah transmissions. And it sounds like there's 3 voices coming out of her at once. It's the most phenomenal you'll ever experience.
Very, very wild, very wild. I'm hearing to just remind people that the retreats are optional.
Yes.
Right. And we will be leading the retreats. And if you feel led to come, please do. Even if you haven't taken the workshops or the classes, you are still invited to come on the retreats with us.
Yep. And there'll be special pricing for the people that are in the program. And then there'll also be pricing, like say someone wants to bring their spouse or children or something like that. But they're going to be in coordination with what it is that we're studying in the classes. And then there's plans for, I think we have like 18 retreats planned over the years. We're going to be going all over the world, and Israel, when Israel is safe again, and so on.
This has a mighty scope, is what Metatron says, that it's beginning with a seed and that ultimately it's a mighty scope. So that's kind of exciting and daunting for Lynn and I all at the same time, right?
The Akashic Oracle Mystery School of Mastery itself is going to be a 4-year program, and we're going to take 12 students one year, 12 students the next year, 12 students the next year. And then in the 5th year, when everyone's been through their 3 years of the school, we'll bring together all the students in a mastery course together. So and Spirit's handpicked everybody. So Wendy and I are just here doing our da 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 da. Literally, the people that are coming forth, they're like, and this one, and this one, and this one. So it's, any way that we can help you. If you're meant to be a part of this, let us know, and we will move heaven and earth.
Please.
Be there if you're meant to be there, for sure. For
Beautiful.
sure. I just saw a message saying that someone had just jumped in. Is there going to be a replay? Laura, yes, there will definitely be a replay. This will be on my Facebook page and Wendy's. Wendy's is Metatron's Mystical Muse, and mine is the Soma Life Quantum Living Experience. And no, love, it's fine. No one's ever late. Listen, everything happens in God's perfect time. That's what I believe.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
We will never late shame you.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Time. Jesus has said that time and space were given to us so that we could have an experience of what it is to be human and to have our emotions. So, it's a concept that was necessary, to do our little journey here on Earth and all the other places that we happen to abide. Any other questions, my darlings? Kathy.
Could you talk about the quantum healing that you do?
Absolutely. The healing work that I do is taking you to a realm where your spirit guides and you have created certain soul contracts, and to find out what those are, where you have said, I must not experience, I truly believe that Einstein's theory of relativity is the most gorgeous scientific equation in the universe, but it's also the most spiritual scientific equation in the universe. Because if that capital E is God and E equals MC squared, it means that all mass, all matter times the constant, which is the speed of squared, instantly convert back to pure white energy. So what that means is, sorry, I'm getting a call from my pharmacy trying to get me my medication. What that means is then, if you have any energy that's come towards you and you say, I must not experience that, what you resist persists. It then creates a shape, a size, a color, a texture, temperature, all these kind of somatic properties to it. We define those for you, and then we help you duplicate it, and duplication causes erasure. And then afflictions will literally disappear from your life. And most recently, Jesus has been coming into me. God goes into Jesus. Jesus comes into me. We've been laying our hands on people and doing healings that way. So in the quantum realm, quantum healing is about going through time and space and everything that we've considered to be a physical mass and altering it and resetting people to their soul blueprint. And that's the body of work that we do through the quantum Akashic healing. And it's extraordinary. It'll blow your mind. Like the things that people get healed and are no longer afflicting them. It's just incredible.
And Kathy, you experienced an outcropping of that through the Akashic perineum work.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, you
Wow.
experienced and a subset of what Lynn does and what she teaches. So you kind of know
Yeah,
how it feels and where you can go with it,
very
right?
deep, very deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's one of my favorite things to do. Wendy loves to read the records and I love to do the healing. Listen, Wendy and I've loved this woman, for 40 years this lifetime, and I'm sure many others. We could not be more different. We are literally like salt and pepper shakers. We may, both be of a certain age and have gray hair, but I'm telling you, like, what we bring together, it's literally like they have been sculpting us and preparing us for this for our whole lives. I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled.
Me too.
And Kathy, here's the thing. Everything that I teach is user friendly, so everybody can learn to do what it is that I do. And I know Wendy is the same. It's,
Yes.
it's so simple. So simple. Both Linda and Priyanka have been students of mine. So if you want to address that, Priyanka, was it easy for you to learn?
I was gonna say in my head, I'm like, even for non-psychic people like me, I was able to catch on and do it.
She likes to tell herself she's not a psychic, but she is. Any other questions? If there's anything that we can answer, please reach out to us. We're available on Facebook. Priyanka's gonna, if she hasn't already, drop the link. Priyanka, could you drop the link? It's the link for information. It's the link for registration. We have, made ourselves available to this. We're all in with this. And I have no idea what's coming. I'm gonna, invite them in. They scoop me out like a little melon ball. I go to the background and they come forth with their gorgeous divine wisdom. I have a YouTube channel that has literally thousands of videos of channeling. I channel, I think 23 as the most recent count, 23 different ascended masters. And I started with one. I started with Athena all those years ago. Hard to believe. What was that, 6 years ago?
Everybody has to start someplace. And everyone is psychic and everyone is a channel. We're no different than you. We've both gone through a process to become who and what we are in this moment, and it's available to you.
Yeah.
It's really important for each of you to know, whether you're taking the classes or not, this is who you are organically. And we honor you.
So we're already channeling. We come into these different incarnations, these different lifetimes. And Wendy just made it available. I mean, she makes it so easy. And I was terrified. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to come in and take over my body. Because obviously I've done that in other lifetimes to other people. So there. But she makes it user friendly, as those of you who know her know well. Anything else?
Do you want to talk about the early bird or the prices, or is that all in the info?
It's all in the info. The program, the program with the early bird will run about $1,000 a month. We have a payment plan for that available to you. After that, the price goes up just a little bit. For the value that you're receiving, each class is going to run about 90 minutes to 2 hours. For our time, for what you're receiving, for the wisdom that's coming forth and everything else, this is, it should have been priced probably $40,000 more than it is. I'm like, wait, we're doing what? But Spirit says you're doing this, and we say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. So, whatever your pocketbooks can afford, and then if you need, special help, let us know as well. We won't let money be the reason that people can't do this. I promise you that.
Please don't let money be the reason that you don't do this. Let yourself think outside of the money box, because there's lots of things that are possible. So
exactly.
Please reach out to us.
Thank you all so much for being here. It has been our delight.
Yes.
I say Shabbat Shalom to all of you, for those of you who participate, and we love you, and we will talk to you all soon.
Have a blessed weekend.
Bye, everybody.